when we have hardship in our life, is the spiritual level, the good guys, ever actually causing that in some way or creating that in some way for our own growth, experience, or learning or whatever?
Right.
Or is the spiritual level really just always there to hold our hand and be our cheerleading and encouragement, and that something else is really putting the hardship in, whether it's the universe or the dark side creating things we trip over, or whatever, or it's just chaos factored in, or I don't know.
Right. The short answer is no. The higher angels don't cause problems. They don't set things up to cause problems. They try to set things up to help us and pull us out of the hole.
And even though the helping could, like you could see it as like, oh, well, this is a helpful thing in the long run, but in the short term it might be painful.
Regarding that, the suffering versus no suffering, pain versus no pain, is always up to us. It's how we perceive that.
Right.
They aren't causing us to suffer.
Could they cause pain, a situation that would be, painful, either emotionally or physically?
Can they cause that? So bringing up the example of cancer, that can be both emotionally and physically painful, they don't cause cancer. That is something that is a cause and effect from physics. And the way they show it is there's this mountain of boulders, and one boulder falls off the top and it all tumbles down. It's just because that's what would happen. Nobody's causing that, but the end result is that you have this landslide kind of thing. So the laws of physics are there. Somebody loses their job. The person who is saying we have to let go of these many people is doing it to save more, has a good motive basically, doing it to save more people than whatever. But one person who's being laid off sees it as a terrible thing. They're saying that, number one, no spirit caused that. Humans caused that. Humans and remembering that humans can be influenced by the dark side, that can really turn things into they can be taken over even by the dark side, and that can make things horrible. They're showing me extreme torture. They're showing horrible murders and
things that
right,
people do.
Right. And the good guys are there to help us through that, because those things are going to happen. And apparently it was brought up before that life happens, and the best we can do is prepare ourselves for that with the trust and understanding that we always have this direct connection with heaven, basically, with our Heavenly Father and Spirit. And even if we die, it's not a bad thing. It can be a good thing, although it's hard for the people left behind.
It's interesting to know if spirit only is there to be, helpful and is never the cause of the hardship, it sort of makes it easier to always go to God and say, because that God is never actually doing something that, again, could be in the long range for your higher and best good, but they really aren't doing those things.
No, they aren't. And you can trust that they actually will help lift you out of whatever feelings we bring up ourselves. They can help lift us out of our fear, help lift us out of our anything that is not comfortable, and help put us in this place of peace that's more accepting. Bringing up a car accident, and people make mistakes. When somebody's in the wrong place at the wrong time, or they don't build something sturdily and something breaks. There are accidents. Accidents happen. And it can cause heartbreak and hardship. They're showing me parents and children particularly. Oh, that's interesting. And the children actually can be little children are much more at peace with their illness, for example, or injury. Much more accepting and at peace than adults are. And therefore they're much less stressed and much more calm about it. And the little children who live on the earth plane and go through some of these things are a good example to us as adults as to how to be accepting of our condition or our circumstance. I guess we learn the fears and learn the biases and learn
Well,
whatever as we come along.
the acceptance thing came up too because I realized in that conversation we had on Saturday that acceptance has to be there, and I got this from my own situation that was going on, of something that I was getting riled up about and kind of upset about, and I realized that it was about something from the past that I really hadn't accepted. It's come up before, and it's been an ongoing kind of thing, and I realized, oh, I'm still not fully in acceptance of what is. There's a part of me, my ego or whatever, that's still trying to get out of that, or like undo that or deny that is the way it is, or find a way to get out of that situation of what is in that area. And that's why I'm riled. If I would just accept what is, and this is what is, and so here we go from here, how do we want to deal with that? That removes a lot of the energy of ego trying to fight, because of course it's trying to resist what is. It's trying to pretend what is isn't so, or escape what is, and all this kind of stuff.
Right, and you can even feel it in your body. There's more of a resistance. But when you're in that other place, you actually can see better how to more accurately, our filters are off, you might say, to help us see more accurately and know what to do.
And there is a real power in that acceptance piece, which I've known intellectually for a long time, but when you really get it more experientially. Let me ask one other thing here. So in terms of, spiritual levels never really causing the hardship is essentially what you've said.
Correct. And even they ask, why would we? Why would we?
Well, I'm with you. And
we
I
love
agree.
you,
Well, only, to help us grow in some ways. So, because I think a lot of people think, me included, think that, well, we came here to grow and learn and evolve, so it kind of makes sense that we'd be being pushed a bit, even by the spiritual life. It makes sense. I'm not saying it's true.
Yeah, one could argue that. Yes.
One could argue, but it's not. So
they say there's plenty of opportunity for learning without them trying to put the spoke in the wheels.
So let's look at that just for a second. So, what is it that then creates that hardship? And I said in the email. So, is it just the universe? Is it kind of just that chaos factor? And I know it could be dark energy. That's one that can cause it.
Right, but he's also bringing up again. Look at little children, how accepting they are. This is something that we learn.
Okay.
So we're kind of doing it to ourselves, and that is perpetuated kind of culturally, I guess you'd say.
I get what he's saying.
Right. So
there is the hardship is an illusion. Is that what he's saying?
And the response to it, the adult response, is a learned response. Yes. It isn't a natural response.
Okay.
If
it was more of an acceptance, there wouldn't be
against stress, right? I mean, it's like it doesn't mean that you wouldn't try to do better, but you wouldn't have the stress behind it. You'd have more of a, we could make this better kind of attitude, as opposed to fighting and railing against something. So you're showing me a dear little child. How old is it? About 3, who... Oh, what an example. It's because this child trusts their parent. The analogy being, we should trust our Heavenly Father. Because they trust their parent, they just go right into it with trust and openness and okay kind of thing. And they trust their parent that that's true. And so they go into whatever it is without any stress. That's us with our Heavenly Father. That's our natural inclination if we've developed this trusting relationship with our Heavenly Father. So again,
the idea of hardship, even looking at what's causing hardship, it's kind of an erroneous question, because I'm just confirming this.
They're saying we cause hardship. We cause hardship.
Okay, we cause it. But in a way, it's... I kind of got they were saying that, if you're in the right mindset, you don't even see the hardship. In a way, it's like there is no hardship, because
there's hardship. They bring up Gandhi. Gandhi being a man of peace, but still seeing that things could be better. And so he could work toward peace. They're saying, I'm not sure, maybe it didn't work out quite the way thought or something like that.
Right.
But he's being the example of, it isn't that you don't recognize that
Yes,
you
hardship.
don't say everything's perfect, basically.
Okay,
You can
okay.
say, okay, these kids are starving, we need to do something about that.
Okay.
But you can remain in that place of peace when you're doing that.
And the acceptance is a key part of that.
Yes, acceptance helps us see accurately what we're dealing with. And so we don't come at it with our blinders on and don't make a difference ultimately. You know, make a mistake, that kind of thing. Apparently, the being open in asking, how can I help? We're asking spirit, actually, saying, how can I help? We're really open and asking spirit in order to get what is for the highest and greatest good. They're saying that that's the best way it works.
How can I help in this moment? What would be of help here?
Right. We don't necessarily figure it out. It might be something that we would do, but ask for the
It's
nudge.
more asking.
Right.
Yeah. Or just being open, letting it.
Yeah. Right.